Hi everyone, Serena here, and welcome to another painting episode. Today I've got my sketchbook and I've got some colours laid out, and the colours are cad yellow, Wedgewood, burnt sienna, titanium white and cobalt blue. So using a different blue today. I'm usually using ultramarine, aren't I? Anyway, I thought I'd do a kind of a quick painting, hopefully. Fingers crossed. I'm going to use this old driving club card to just lay the paint and see where we go. I've got a few other brushes as per usual with my water, and I've got a palette knife. So there it is. Right, I've got a different camera up, so let's see what happens. It's a little bit higher than normal because I want to get more in, but anyway, let's see how we go. Right, so I'm going to start off by laying some white. So I've already got a background, and the background was ultramarine and emerald green. So that was just a background I did a while back, just so that we have something on the page. Yeah, so I just pop that behind so that we don't get loads of paint all over the other pages that we might not want. Right, so I'm picking up some titanium, and really I'm just going to paint and relax and paint really. So a card, and I'm going to lay some, so I'm thinking, so it's going to be sort of a landscapey abstract, I'm reckoning. I'm going to lay some colour here, and yeah, so it's really based on a recent walk I went on, and although I would share footage, I don't really think the footage that I take actually reflects anything that I paint, so I think it's a bit of a waste of time of sharing any video footage, that is. So yeah, anyway, so I've laid some of that, and now I'm going to get a little bit of yellow, a cad yellow that is. Yeah, and I think partly the reason is I'm not really a representational painter, to be honest. Mine is more abstract inspiration rather than, okay, I can exactly see that thing. What I paint kind of alludes to something rather than an exact thing, and it might mean different things for different people as well. So it's not always an exact science, if you like. So anyway, I'm picking up some of the burnt sienna now, and yeah, so it's some sort of landscape. I'm just like, I don't know, developing a little bit, and often these things take actually quite a long time to do. I try and make them shorter and quicker for you really, but you might have seen in my last episode it was kind of a lengthy one in the end, because yeah, that painting just took longer to do, you know. Yeah. And that's how it is sometimes. Right, and we may well use the brush at some point on this. So that's the Wedgewood, and I've got a little bit of the burnt sienna still on the card, but it doesn't matter, it's fine. Right, now what do I want to do now? Usually where I walk there's always some sort of water somewhere, you know, it's either a little river, stream, the canal, you know, and I kind of like to put that in the paintings, just really as an accent or just a colour. I might have to add some more Wedgewood there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use one of my brushes to tweak all of that a little bit. It's a bit wet, so I'm going to dry it. I'll just use some tissue paper, I think. Best thing to do. Right, and then I can just go in, and I don't have to actually add any paint at all. I could just go in like this. I might want to keep some of that green in the background, so leave that. But the sky, certainly I want to go in and do something with the sky. And it's a kind of it is what's the word, expression painting. The idea is that it's not too finished looking or bogged down with detail. It's just, you know, you just add strokes where you feel you know that they need to be, really. It doesn't have to be precise or polished or anything like that, really. I think the thing is, which is kind of a nice thing. Yeah, I mean, I'm already actually just liking it like that. I'm already thinking that's quite nice. Maybe the sky leads a little bit more, but you see, this is where you start polishing things which you're not supposed to be doing. Anyway, I'm going to add some white to that burnt sienna. Oops. So I'm using a Polly Pocket, an old one. I don't buy Polly Pockets. Usually they're donated by somebody or other. I do have a lot from sort of teaching institutions, which are kind of, you know, used ones. I kind of appropriate so that I can just use them up, really, rather than just things, you know, going in the bin, which is what happens a lot. You know, things do end up in the bin. Oops, I need to stop Daisy. There goes my palette knife. Right, I've got a little bit of water on here. I'm just going to take that round the sky. Oh, it's quite a nice colour, actually, that, isn't it? Yeah, that's quite nice. It's kind of reflecting this yellow in the sky, I feel. I don't want it all over the place, though, because, you know, it all gets a bit too samey then, doesn't it? Where I live, there's quite usually in a season there's quite a lot of yellow in the fields. I mean, at the moment there isn't in the same way. There is yellow here and there, but not hugely prominent. But I kind of wanted to get more of a, I mean, there is a little bit out there, so I wanted to get a I don't know, some kind of spring-like feel rather than just you know, winter. Oh god, it's winter type of thing. I wanted to feel a bit like, oh yay, spring is on its way type. Yeah, I think it is. Today is a sunny day and it really inspires you to make, I mean, I should be out there, but I was out there earlier, so that's all right. I think as long as you get out there every day, you're okay. Yeah, I don't know about this bit here. I'm actually liking this rough and ready look, I'll be honest. She's really quite liking it, so I'm going to get a little bit more of that colour, maybe with a bit of blue, and get into the sky again. Maybe polish off the sky a little bit, because you know, skies, they're not going to have those jaggedy edges, are they? They are going to be a little bit more blended. Might be a word. Actually, I quite like that. That's quite nice. I like this little bit that's happened. Yeah, the Wedgewood is finished, but can I get any out of it? No. I'm just going to put a little bit more white out, so I can lighten up that sky a little bit more. There it is. Oh yeah, that's nice. But you know, you don't want it too bright everywhere. Some of it is nice to brighten up. Oh yeah, there you go. Oops. I'm trying to look through the camera, but it's a little bit high, so I can't really see through it. So I'm hoping this is recording properly. Now, do I like this line up here? Do I like this edge? I'm not quite sure. Not quite sure. And what I'm going to do is, I think this bit I'm going to mute a little bit, you know, so that there's not so much that green. And I'll leave that bit, I think. Because, you know, okay, so fair enough, you might have some areas on the horizon that are quite prominent, but some are not. You know, not everything's prominent on the horizon. I think I'm going to add a little bit of blue in there. Just dull it a little bit. Yeah, because now what I'm doing is I'm sort of neatening it a bit too much, aren't I? And that's kind of what you don't want to be doing, is neatening it too much. I'm going to put some of that back into the sky, because that was quite nice, that colour. Right, there we go. Oh, I think that kind of works for me. Let's put a little bit more of that white in. And like I said, you know, I tend to for me, painting is just like a fun thing. So I'll just spend ages doing it. But for the channel, I suppose it's a little bit challenging, isn't it? Because you kind of want to do something that's not too overbearingly long. You know, you kind of want people to just like, oh yeah, okay, I could do that. You know, not spend all day doing it. For me, it kind of develops as I go along. So some things do take all day, and or all months, or, you know, 6 months. You know, I'm quite liking that. I'm liking this kind of, you know, quite unfinished look here. It could be anything going on. And then the sky. Now, is the sky a bit too, is it a bit too polished? Shall I try and get a bit of jaggediness back into it? Although I was saying we don't want it jaggedy looking. But maybe something a little bit less polished looking is, you know, a bit more blocky is, I suppose, what I'm trying to do. Something a little bit more blocky. Actually, you know, another thing I can do is take my card, oops, that's gone a bit funny there, over certain areas. Oh yeah, that's quite nice, isn't it? I'll just do it overall and see what we get. Oh yeah, oh, that's quite nice. I like that. I want to keep that actually. Yeah, because I think you've got some sort of interplay between like finished brushstroke and sort of what's that in the sky type thing. Could be a storm brewing, could be, I don't know, I'm giving it little little meanings, which is something like my mum does. Oh, it could be this, it could be that. But really you have to make up your own mind when it's a semi-abstract painting. And this one I think is quite abstract actually. I'm going to add some of that colour here onto these sort of white areas, because, you know, you don't necessarily get white bright areas anywhere, do you really? I mean, you get bright areas, fair play, and sometimes something glistens and gleams and might seem white in the landscape, but is it truly white? Not really. There is usually something or other colour on it, but it's just light, that's all. I mean, you do get pastels, I suppose, in the landscape, pastel type colours. I think, you know what, I think I might be done. I think I'm liking it. I think I might call that one actually. Right, that was quite quick, wasn't it? That was quite quick. That was quite nice. Nice quick one. How many minutes? Under 13 minutes. Ah, I'm doing well. Anyway, if you like that video, do you know, subscribe and stuff like that, or just put a like on it or something, and then let me know what you think. Give me some feedback if you like. Most appreciated. Anyway, I'm gonna sign off for now, and you have a lovely day painting. Or evening painting, actually. By the time this goes out, it'll be the evening. So have a lovely evening painting.